The Headline Roast. Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. Welcome to the Headline Roast, where the news burns brighter than your group chat after someone says, let's split the bill evenly. It's Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, and we've got job cuts, AI hype, celebrity islands, and a few reminders that the world is weird and wired. So grab your overpriced coffee and let's dive in. Subscribe if you find yourself laughing, raging, or just smarter by accident. We roast the headlines so you can sound smart without scrolling 5 news apps or paying $8 for a hot take. New episodes drop every weekday and weekend. Show us some love, and the algorithm might just show you more truth dressed as jokes. STORY 1. Intel to lay off over 20% of workforce. Intel just said, we need fewer people and more chips, and announced a 20% workforce reduction. CEO Pat Gelsinger says it's all about returning to an engineering-driven culture. Translation? Right. Less marketing, more motherboards. The move follows multiple management fumbles and stock stagnation. Analysts say it's a bold reset. Employees say it's a LinkedIn update they didn't ask for. Intel hopes this will jumpstart innovation, but it's also giving panic button in a lab coat vibes. With AI competition heating up, Intel's trying to go lean and fast, but firing a fifth of your team? That's not a pivot, it's a purge. The market responded with cautious claps. But morale is probably somewhere in a blue screen of despair. STORY 2. Apple and Meta slapped with €728 million in EU fines. The European Union just made it rain fines on big tech. Apple owes €500 million. Meta, a cool €228 million. The charges: violating competition laws and allegedly gatekeeping access to their platforms. In other words, stop being greedy, start playing fair. Apple's offense involved App Store antics. Meta got nailed for ads and cross-platform drama. Both companies say they'll appeal, which is corporate, for CU in court until 2030. Brussels is sending a clear message. Size doesn't exempt you from the rules. Tech bros everywhere are sweating. Lobbyists are on speed dial. And somewhere in Silicon Valley, a lawyer just bought their 3rd yacht. Story 3. Trump launches AI education push. Donald Trump just signed an executive order to expand AI education and workforce programs. It's called the AI for American Youth Initiative, and yes, it comes with acronyms. The plan? AI curriculum in schools, government internships, and maybe a chatbot with a tie. Trump says it's about staying ahead of China and making the smartest kids in the world. Critics say it's a pivot from his usual education policies. Less read a book, more build the bot. Supporters are calling it a rare bipartisan win. Teachers are cautiously optimistic. Students are Googling, do I need math, the tech world? Excited but wary, because teaching AI is one thing, regulating it is another. Still, it's a step forward, and honestly, maybe we should have started this 5 chat cheese ago. Story 4. Markets rally on softened tariff talk. Stocks soared today after Trump hinted at easing up on those hefty China tariffs. The Dow spiked. Nasdaq did a happy dance. Bloomberg graphics got an upgrade. Investors breathed a sigh of relief and then immediately returned to worrying about interest rates. This marks a sharp pivot from the tariff wars or bust approach of the last few years. Trump says it's about protecting American jobs while restoring global trade sanity. Wall Street says, cool, but can we get that in writing? Short sellers got burned, optimists got validated, and the markets, as usual, moved like a caffeinated squirrel in a maze of earnings reports. Story 5. NOAA faces budget cuts and chaos. NOAA, the agency responsible for weather, oceans, and basically your entire hurricane season plan, is getting sliced. The Trump administration is slashing its funding and restructuring key departments. Critics say it's sabotaging science. Supporters say it's streamlining government. Meteorologists? Just trying not to cry into their radar screens. Climate tracking could slow. Storm warnings could get fuzzier. Disaster prep might turn into disaster improv. The move is part of a broader push to reduce what some call non-essential science. But if you've ever been in a hurricane evacuation, you know, forecasting isn't optional. It's not just bad optics, it's risky business in a warming world. Story 6. India vows befitting response to Pahalgam attack. India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh promised swift justice after a terrorist attack in Pahalgam left 26 dead, mostly tourists. The attack, which shook the picturesque region of Kashmir, is being called one of the worst in years. Singh stated, perpetrators will not be spared, and emphasized increased military vigilance. The government has already deployed more troops to the region. Meanwhile, travel advisories are flying out faster than conspiracy theories. Citizens are mourning. Opposition leaders are demanding accountability. And security agencies are tightening their belts and their border zones. The political tone? Somber but steely? Because in India, national security debates don't stay on mute for long. Story 7. Australia's federal election gets spicy. Campaign season is heating up down under. With federal elections looming, both major parties are promising tax reform, defense spending, and, of course, cricket metaphors. The Liberal Party's platform leans on national security. Labour is pushing affordability and climate. Independent candidates, mostly vibing in TikTok town halls. The debates are sharper than Vegemite and twice as salty. Australian voters are skeptical, but engaged. One poll showed 63% want change, but only 41% trust the options. And yes, sausage sizzles are already popping up outside polling stations. Democracies never tasted so smoky. Story 8. Kenya's president calls for new world order. Kenyan President William Ruto is making waves at the global level. In a speech this week, he declared the post-World War to world order dead on arrival. Ruto called for new global systems, ones that don't rely on a few Western powers and IMF debt cycles. The crowd, some inspired, some suspicious, but the soundbite. Pure geopolitical sizzle? He's pushing for African nations to have more decision-making power in global forums. Critics say it's idealistic. Supporters say it's overdue. And somewhere, the UN is quietly updating its group chat. Story 9. Celebrity-loved UK island up for sale. A private UK island, frequented by stars like Rihanna and Stormzy's, up for grabs at £25 million. It boasts a mansion, helipad, and its own power supply. Basically, your dream hideout if you're rich and tired of Earth. The real estate listing calls it secluded luxury. Locals call it that place no one invites us to. Real estate influencers are foaming at the mouth. And somewhere Jeff Bezos is checking Zillow. Let the bidding games begin. Story 10. U.S. News announces 2025 Money Awards. U.S. News & World Report has dropped its 2025 Money Awards. Think Oscars, but for financial products. Categories include Best Banks, Top Robo-Advisors, and Most Likely to Survive a Recession. It's a big day for fintech PR teams. Consumers, just happy someone else ranked all this chaos? If you've been wondering where to park your cash besides under the mattress, this list might help, or confuse you more. Either way, it's shiny and full of charts. Brain teaser: last episode's answer. Q. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? A. The letter M. Today's teaser. I shrink smaller every time I take a bath. What am I? Hint. You might find it in a loofah-loving home. That's your April 23rd headline roast. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell us what you'd buy if you had a spare £25 million. See you tomorrow, fam. Stay sharp, stay weird.